Hello, hello, hello. And so we're back. Hi, good evening. And this is Lexie's Kitchen Creations. And we are now doing our lamb dinner. So if you followed me on, I want to say Monday. If you followed me, no, it might have been Tuesday. It was one of those days this week. But if you saw me, you would have seen that I was preparing for the lamb dinner by marinating the lamb in yogurt. Once again, by my wonderful friend from Culture Traditions. She's on here on Instagram. Her wonderful vegan coconut yogurt. And I marinated it with some spices and some garlic, some fresh garlic, some red onion. Set that marinated, and I told you the longer you let it marinate, the better it is. So we have let it marinate for a couple of days now, okay? And then we did our bruschetta, which is more of a Middle Eastern bruschetta of cucumber, garlic, cilantro, red onion, and tomato. I think that was all that was in there. Yep. And we did that. We got that. That has been sitting. So that has really melded with the flavor. Oh, and lemon. And that has really melded with the flavor. So now we're seeing all that prep come together. And that's what we're doing today. So the first thing we're going to start off with is with our Feta Bruschetta. Now, what is that going to be? So first we have our little naans. So these are the stone fire mini naan dippers that you can use. So I like that when I'm using this one versus the round bread. This I think was better. So we use that. And what we're going to do, this is some roasted garlic infused olive oil. And we're just going to brush it across them. And then we're going to toast these. We don't want to put a lot on there. We don't need a whole lot. That was a lot for this. We need a little more. Okay, and then we're gonna, once we do that, put this to the side, and water, we are going to just stick it in the oven and let it toast for a little bit. While we're waiting on that, to do that, we're gonna walk over to our cauliflower. So then the next thing we're gonna do is fry up some cauliflower. And to be honest, it's gonna be a real easy thing because you don't even have to flour it. You really literally, and this has been washed, so I'm pretty good with this stuff. It's usually been washed. And I don't want to add no extra water because when you throw it in the fryer, it's going to do some things. So we're just going to put it in the fryer. And I'm going to move over to the fryer and do it instead of just dumping it. We're going to open up our fryer. And you're going to hear me, even though you don't see me. And we're going to let that go up. And let it make sure it fries. We're going to wait on that. The oil wasn't hot enough. So we're going to wait on that. But we have our lamb. So what we're going to do, we're going to season our lamb a little bit. Y'all need to see me, right? You know what I look like. We're going to season it a little bit more because I like my stuff kind of seasoned. And then we're going to turn it over with our handy dandy gloves. Oh, that almost got away from me, y'all. Y'all see that? We're going to do it over a little bit more. Kind of just rub it in there. And then we're going to turn up our flame over there. And then we're going to put that on the flame. So we're going to wait on that also. Because by now, our bread is done. So I see this is heated up. I'll turn this off. We got our cauliflower in there. And I'm back around. Hello. And now we're going to get our bread out and put this together. Look at that. Nice and toasted. Didn't that look good? Looks great, right? So how are we going to put this together? We have our cucumber, tomato, cilantro, garlic, red onion mix. And we have our feta. So I found this feta cheese dip at, thank you, Seth, at Publix. It's for a limited time. It tastes good. It looks good. And that's what kind of gave me the idea to actually do this. Because I walked through the store and was like, ooh, that looked good. Let's try it. So I'm trying to decide, should I put the cheese on first or the bruschetta on first and put the cheese on top? And I might just do both. I might do a nice little, come on, help a mother out here. Here we go. A nice little lime. Oop, there you go. Cheese. Because I like a lot of cheese. So I will add some cheese. Even though I don't eat cheese that often, but I still like it. Right? And then we're going to take our, and that cauliflower is smelling really good about now. We're going to take our little spoon here, and we're just going to spoon some of this bruschetta on top. Right? And just spoon it on top. You know, you don't have to be all neat. The neatness comes when you're putting it on the plate, not when you're doing it. You don't have to worry about being neat when you're doing it. That's why you do something that you don't have to worry about. See? Put that right on top. Hi, Dr. Tachi. Thanks for coming in. So we have feta cheese dip here. We have our cucumber, tomato, red onion, cilantro, garlic, bruschetta mix. And like I said, when you're doing it, it don't have to be neat. You want the neatness when you plate. You don't need to be neat right now. We can also, if we want, we can add a topping of cheese. So a dotting it. Oh, this didn't want to say. Okay, we got you. There you go. Right there. All right. And that's how that looks for now. We're going to plate that, but that is our bruschetta. Okay? So then we start with that. And we're going to put this to the side. Now, the next thing we have, our cauliflower is about ready. So we're going to take this. And I realize that's not a big enough bowl. So we're going to get a bowl for this. But when we take it out, we put it in this bowl. And we're coming over. We're coming over here. Because our cauliflower is nice and fried. Is it? Is it? We're going to check on it. I think it needs just a little bit more time. So we're going to let it go a bit longer. And while we're waiting for that, we have our wonderful, delicious lamb chops. We're going to stick those right on the grill because the grill is ready. So you're going to hear that sizzle any minute. Look at that. You hear it? That's the sizzle. And to be honest, it's not even going to take those things long to cook because they are so tender right now. It's ridiculous. From marinating in that yogurt. But through the magic of television, we have some already made. Doesn't that look good? That's what it's going to look like when it comes out off the grill. So we have our grilled lamb chops. These were marinated in the yogurt, garlic and red onion. There you go. There you go. It's late, y'all. You'll know. And we're going to top this off when we plate with our pickled onion that we made a couple of weeks ago. But it's pickled, so it lasts a while. So we're going to top that off with that. So we have our bruschetta. We have our lamb. We are still waiting on our cauliflower because it needs to get nice and crispy. We want it nice and crispy. So we're going to wait on that. We're going to put that bowl here. So the next thing we're going to have, we're going to dress some microgreens. So of course, y'all know I go to the farmer's market. You don't need a lot of heavy greens. You don't want to have a whole bunch of stuff. You got the cauliflower, you have all this stuff. So some greenery is always good. So we're going to have just our microgreens from our friends at P&J Farms. The last day of the farmer's market was yesterday, but they are, if you are in the Georgia area, Douglasville area, you can always still hit them a line. They are on Instagram at P&J Farms. They're still on Instagram. You can go in there, you can check out. They can tell you what they're going to have for next season. They tell you what they still have for now, and you can check them out. But for right, they make microgreens all year round. So we have our microgreens, and we're going to dress them with a nice vinaigrette. So this right now is just the seasoning. And I get my seasonings from my favorite place in the world, Penzeys. There's only one here in Georgia. Luckily, it's not that far. It's in Roswell. But I go and I get this. I love this country French vinaigrette. It makes making vinaigrette really, really easy. You just add the mix, the oil, the vinegar, a little bit of water for the mix, and you're done. So I found this. Now, I hadn't seen this. It's been a while, and they have the Rosé Balsamic vinaigrette. So we are going to use that as well as our pumpkin. So this is pumpkin season, as we know. So we have our pumpkin seed oil. Hi, Yolanda over in Facebook. Hey, how you doing? Thanks for joining. And while we're doing that, because we don't want our cauliflower to burn, we are going to take it out because it is now ready. And while we're getting our cauliflower out, we are going to turn over our lamb chops that are still sitting there. So the lamb chops get turned over, and we got our cauliflower all nice and crisp. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? Look at that cauliflower, right? So we're going to let that kind of get the oil out. And of course, you know, I use my handy dandy that I love so much that keeps its nutritional value even while cooking, rice bran oil. Check out your local Asian market, especially Chinese markets. They usually have it. Rice bran oil. So we're going to let this go. And then when we're done, we're going to do a little something with that. And that's going to get a little bit of seasoning too. So while we're waiting for the other piece of lamb, we're going to put this one to the side too. We got a lot to the sides here. We have our rosé vinaigrette. So it's an easy make. We take, and the recipe, the good thing about this too is the recipe for the vinaigrette right on the back. So we're just going to use the recipe that it has, which is simple. It is, we got the 2 tablespoons right here. We let it stand for 5 minutes, which we did. Then we put 1/3 of a cup of wine, the red wine. So we're going to use our rosé wine. I can't do it unless you open the jar, right? Open up our jar. Use 1/3 of the cup of the rosé wine. So the rosé wine, as you can tell, is a little bit more pinker, which means the flavor is not going to be probably as harsh, which is not really harsh, but you know how that balsamic has that heavy taste. It's not going to have that, right? So we have our rosé. Then we need 1/3 of a cup, a half a cup of our pumpkin seed oil. Let me make sure. Half a cup of oil. They say olive oil, but you know you can use any oil. Ooh, this is some thick oil. This is going to be interesting. Don't you think? Look at that. That's some thick oil. Who knew? You thought it would be lighter, but I guess not. But that's okay. We're going to use that and that. And then you know we do the salad dressing. Who remembers this? Getting your own little mason jar when you make salad dressing and then you just shake that sucker up, and that's what we're doing. Shake it up to get all that flavor. Now, of course, they tell you you should whisk it, and yeah. But, you know, Old Reliable. Hi, Wealthy Divas. How you doing? You know, Old Reliable always is. You get it in a mason jar, you tighten it airtight, and you shake it. And that's what we're doing. We're going old school here today. Right? Then, we shaked it long enough. We're going to dress our greens. Now, when we say dressed, that means you lightly put a little bit of dressing, vinaigrette, whatever you do, in it. You don't just pour it on there and then, you know, eat it. You put a little bit and you toss. So we're just going to add a little bit in there. Just enough to coat. You just want to coat it. We don't want to drench it. Drench it in dressing. We just want to coat it. That's it. You just want to give it a nice little taste of dressing, but still keep the greens. And this is a little bit, it's flying everywhere, but that's okay. You just want to coat it. That's all we want. That's all we want. It's a trick too. The other trick when you're using salad dressing, especially if you want to have salad dressing, is to never put your salad dressing with your food, with your salad. You take your salad dressing, you keep it on the side. Then you dip your fork, you take some salad, eat. Works wonders. I used to think does that really work? But you know what? It really works. Because I found that when I did that, I didn't even eat that much of the dressing. So there's a tip for you. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to dress this lightly. We're going to toss it. And now we have a nice dressed microgreen salad. Okay? We don't, like I said, the point of it is to just get a hint of flavor with the greens. We don't want to drown it in dressing. Okay? So that is done. And now we're going to go to our cauliflower. So our cauliflower is easy. This is the easiest thing we ever going to do. We fried it. So I got this particular recipe at, it's not really a recipe, but it's at my favorite place called, my favorite pita spot. And they have it, and I would be like, oh my God, what did you do? And I tried to recreate it because I'm like, oh, it must have this seasoning and that seasoning and the other seasoning. That's all. They must have all this stuff in here to make it taste so good. And then when I could never get it to taste right. Never. It never tasted right. So I said, you know what? Let me ask the people what they do. So I said, you know what? What do you do to your cauliflower? Because it has this great taste. You put on, what kind of seasonings you put? And they said, oh, we just put Sumac in it. What? That's it? Yeah, that's it. You fry it, toss it in some Sumac. And that's it. I was like, what? I did all that other stuff. And it was just this one seasoning right here, Sumac. And Sumac is a very staple in most Mediterranean cooking. Israeli cooking. In those places. Even in Indian cooking, they use a lot of this. So, Turkish cooking too, they use a lot of this. So, a lot of those places use this a lot. And all you got to do is sprinkle. You sprinkle a little bit on there. And then, you pretty much toss it. That's it. Easiest thing you ever did. Right? And you get good. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. You're going to love it. And I almost cannot resist. So I'm not going to. How's it taste? Yep. That was it. That's the flavor. So now that we have this all together, what's left is to plate. So we're going to take our gorgeous, gorgeous square plate. So that way you can see everything on the plate. And we are going to add stuff. So we're going to add our cauliflower. We're going to add our lamb. I don't want the meat on there. There you go. So we have 1 lamb. And we got 2 lamb, our lamb chops. So these are the steak looking. They look like little, this is the steak lamb chops. I'm going to start investing in getting those lollipops. The one with the little tail on it. I never thought about getting it. I don't know why I never thought about getting it, but I never thought about getting it. We're going to get those next time, and we're going to try it. Then we're going to add our salad. Look at that. Doesn't that look beautiful? Doesn't that look beautiful? And then, see how that green just makes the whole thing kind of pop? I like that. I like that a lot. We're going to add a little bit of okay, not that one. We're going to add a little bit of red onion on top. That pickle. That's going to be nice tasting on there. And then we'll add a couple of our bruschetta. Right there. Okay. And there we have it. A lot of cheese. And there we have it. That is our meal of the day. It was. Put everything to the side. Gotta have it clear. Gotta have it clear. So that was our meal of the day. How does that look? We have our lamb, our yogurt marinated lamb, our seasoned fried cauliflower, our dressed microgreens, and our feta bruschetta. So that was our meal for today. Thank you for joining me. And even though it's 11:41, this is going to get eaten. Hopefully I can take a picture of it before I do that. So I'm going to remember, take a picture. Take a picture, girl. Take a picture. So that is our meal for today. Thank you for joining me. So what can you pair this with? Because it's late night and we're going to talk about all of it. I would say a good red wine. Red. R-E-D. Red wine. I think a good red wine would go perfect with this. Now, what kind of red wine? I would say the kind of red you like. But I know for sure with the lamb and everything, red is the key. So get a good red wine. Me, on the other hand, I'm still drinking my sangria from Friday. But this is the last one. So it's kind of red. It's kind of red. You know, it's pink. It's close enough. Pink, that, rosé, I think it matches. That's what I'm having. So you enjoy. Y'all enjoy the rest of your night. And I will see you next time on Lexie's Kitchen Creations. Bye-bye.